Hi, and welcome to Guide to First Time Disney Season. We're talking all about going to Disney and doing it for the first time with your family, tips and tricks that I've learned throughout this 6 months that I've been doing Disney. Pretty hardcore. Me and my family were going several times a year, trying to experience all the different things. And today, as I start planning for 2 summer trips, one in June and one in July, I was reminiscing of the first good trip we did to Disney last year in July. And I wanted to share a little bit of what worked and what I am doing different for this time around, because it takes a little bit of planning. I love the people that go with the flow, but I'm not one of those. I struggle with the heat, and I think every kid struggles a little bit more than adults. So hot tips for you guys. The first thing we did, obviously, was to book the hotel. The dates weren't really flexible, is when my niece could come in to visit from Brazil. We had to do a July trip. We wanted to keep it pretty budget friendly. And we had 5 people, 3 adults, my husband, myself, my mom, my niece, and my son. And the kids were 9-year-old at the time, which, it's a really good age for this kind of trip because they can stand the heat and also all the walking that we did. We needed a family suite since I was going with my husband. We wanted like a separate room. But for 5 people, now in June, I'm going with my sister-in-law and her kids, and we're staying in a 5th sleeper. So it really depends if you can do 1 room, but 5 beds or 2 beds and a 5th sleeper. That's more affordable. We needed a full family suite, which is like 1 room plus pull-out couches and beds. We did Art of Animation after changing a few times. Originally, we had 2 rooms, and that's not cost effective. Then we found one at Caribbean Beach, and then we found a much better deal at Art of Animation. I want to say it was less than $400 a night, and we stayed from Sunday to Wednesday. I'm going to talk about a little bit more about the timing, but we stayed at Art of Animation. They had a full bedroom, a little kitchenette, a table, which was really nice for our lunches, a pull-out couch, and a drop bed, like a Murphy bed kind of style. Worked out really well. Art of Animation, really kid-friendly. Plus, what we did was we prioritized any hotel on the Skyliner because we knew we were spending our 2 full days, one at Epcot and one at Hollywood Studios, which, if you are in the Skyliner, this is absolutely the best. We're going to talk a little bit more about why, but for us, it really made sense to pay even a little bit more than one of the sports or the other hotels and stay nearby in the Skyliner. I know that for the June trip, we're staying at Port Orleans Riverside, but it's a 5th sleeper. It's a little bit more cost effective. And we got that room for, I want to say $230, and then with taxes and so on is $260. Tickets, you're going to see a lot of great promotions in the summer. It is a slower season for Disney, just probably because it's very hot. But again, we didn't have a choice. That's when my family could come and visit. So you're going to see some really good promotions. We got last year, 2025, we got a Florida resident. They had a 4-park day that you could use at any time throughout the summer. I think they just did this in the spring this year. They have some different packages for summer. We also had a out-of-state 3-day ticket, 3-park ticket, and that did not include the Magic Kingdom. I don't know why they did it, but it worked out well because Magic Kingdom is still my least favorite park. So that worked well. I got that for my mom and my niece since they are not Florida residents. And that's why we wanted to stay near Epcot and Hollywood Studios, and Art of Animation for our party size was definitely the best, most cost-effective option. So this is my first hot tip is depending on the tickets that you get and where you want to go, just find a hotel that you're nearby because as we're going to talk, there is a strategy that heavily relies on being near and easy access to the hotel. And I really think this makes or break your summer trip to Disney World. All right. When to go? Summer is going to be hot. June throughout September, it's going to be hot. End of July, beginning of August, hotter. And then August, September, you have the the storms and hurricane season and all of the good stuff. So, but we try to avoid holidays as normal. Like we avoid the 4th of July, for example, because we could. And we also avoid weekends just because weekends have a little bit more people anyways. We did a Sunday to Wednesday. That worked really well because Tuesdays and Wednesdays are some of the lowest crowds park days. And we did Sunday, we took advantage of the free water park day. Worked out so well. The kids to this day, I think is my niece's favorite activity, and it was free and we didn't pay anything. And she absolutely loved it. We went to Blizzard Beach, both Blizzard Beach and Typhoon Lagoon, which both of the parks were open. And this year, 2026, we're still taking advantage of it. And I made a priority because the kids liked so much last time we were there. I actually made a priority to do a our trip day in June with my other nieces. We are going to definitely put more effort and go and visit Typhoon Lagoon, which I haven't visited before, and make it the full day, our travel day. It's going to be just about the water park and having a good time at the hotel. So water park on Sunday. We did Epcot on Monday. We did Hollywood Studios on Tuesday, and we did Animal Kingdom. It so happens that we go to Animal Kingdom quite a lot on our last day, just because it's a park that closes early anyway, so you're not missing a ton if you just go to the park, get lunch late, and then just hop in the car and go home. Or if you're traveling and taking a late flight, that's also possible. So I feel like Animal Kingdom is a morning park anyway, so we like to keep Animal Kingdom for our half days. That's what we did. Water Park, Epcot, Hollywood Studios, and Animal Kingdom. I would have loved to add a hotel day. We just didn't have it. And again, if you're traveling with a larger party, hotel costs can add up pretty fast. So we prioritize just going to the parks, going every day, and making it a shorter trip. Use the Disney 5-day calendar. I'm going to put the link on the show notes so you can see. I don't live without it. They're always adding some new activities. They put all in that 5-day calendar. And you can see all parks and the opening hours, the early entry hours for hotel guests. All of that is in there. Extended evening hours if you're staying at a deluxe resort. Now let's go through some of the hot summer tips, some of the things that really made our trip so absolutely fantastic. And after this trip, the story of all this year of Disney's really started after we went through this trip the right way. And I planned it out. I over-planned a little bit, but that's how we kind of managed to have an outstanding time, that everybody got to do something really fun. And we became pass holders right after it. I converted my tickets into annual passes because we just loved it so much. And we've been going every couple of months and doing all the different things at Disney as well. So really worked for us this trip. And we didn't break the bank, which is awesome. So first thing is to plan for a hotel break. I know there's this FOMO of like going to the hotel, but again, if you get a hotel that is easy to access, like on the Skyliner or the monorail, or buses are pretty convenient as well, I would absolutely take and plan for a break from 2 p.m. to 5-ish p.m. This is the hottest part of the day. People are cranky. I don't know any kids that would just go the whole day. They didn't have strollers. They're a little bit older. So they were walking in the sun for hours at that point. So 2 p.m., everybody was cranky. Even if we had lunch at the park, you kind of tired anyways. Also is when the thunderstorms actually happen is around 3 or 4 p.m. is mostly when it happens. And there were, I think, both days, Epcot and Monday and Tuesday, we came back to the hotel to sleep, and literally it poured. When we woke up, it was like bright skies, let's go back. So we actually go, we shower. I just get really sticky. I don't feel good if it's too hot and sweaty. So I like to plan for 2 outfits. If we didn't have any food before at the park or a sit down lunch, we would go and grab something at the quick service at the hotel, take it to the room. Some people are showering, some people are eating, some are already relaxing. And we actually put the kids on their iPads or TV just to cool off on their pajamas a little bit, just to have a moment of quiet, decompress from the day. The adults actually took a nap. I take a nap. I put my compression socks, a little booster on. My legs get a little bit swollen from the heat. And we just had quick lunch at the hotel and drank a lot of water, Pedialyte, like electrolytes, got ready again, put on a different change of clothes for the day, and went back to the same park. It was great for the kids to rest. It was an easy, quick service. It was definitely cheaper than any sit-down dinner that we would have, a sit-down lunch that we would have. Worked amazingly well. Another thing that worked super well was lightning lanes. You don't have to maximize lightning lanes, but just having, even if you're saving 20 minutes on the line with kids or, 10 minutes on 3 rides that you save, feel like is so needed to make your day a little bit better and also not burn out with just a lot of people around it and people cutting the line and all the stress that goes with it. So lightning lanes worked really well. If you save an hour of just standing in the heat or in line with kids, I think is great. We never know what to do with our kids. I can't give them my phone, honestly. You use so much. So you really couldn't do anything in the lines. And it was brutal. Like Guardians of the Galaxy, we stay in line for over an hour, 80 minutes, I think. And what do you do with kids, right, for that long? So lightning lanes, even if you don't optimize your lightning lanes and get everything you wanted at the time you wanted, definitely worth it more in the summer because you really can waste much time sitting in lines or waiting in lines. Another thing that we did was to book one sit-down meal a day. Either if we were getting the dining package for Fantasmic, which worked out really well, or if we're trying a theme restaurant for the family at night or during lunchtime, that time that you're indoors and not worrying about much and just giving the kids just a few minutes again to decompress and not be overwhelmed. Definitely it's definitely worth the time that you're gonna quote unquote waste by going into a restaurant. I think it was very needed in the summer. One thing that I'm adding for those upcoming trips that we didn't do was to actually plan for sit-down snacks. We just planned to on the go, pick up something, and kids don't do really well with that. At least my kids didn't. So we're definitely planning more strategic snacks where we're going to do 1 or 2 rides and then sit down for a snack. I'm building in a good half an hour snack. And if I can come up with an experience, that's great. But if I can't, we're just going to sit there, play around, be goofy, eat something, take in all the sights so we don't burn out. Now, tip number 4, I guess, hot tip number 4 is to complete one area of the park before you move to another. And this was my biggest mistake. I was so excited or so focused on maximizing my lightning lanes that Epcot, I drove my party like completely insane. I was like, we're going to go to Frozen first thing in the morning. Then we're going to walk all the way back to Nemo. then shopping at or Lightning Lane at the front of the park. Then we had Remy's. It was insanity. We went back and forward so many times and we had to rush to all of those things. We couldn't even take a minute to appreciate the World Showcase or do anything. Absolutely. Even if you're not going to maximize your Lightning Lanes, I think is the best option would have been for us. And that's how I'm planning the next ones is go through one area. So in the morning, if we had done Epcot, the front of the park, right? Like Guardians, the land and sea, all of those activities. Prioritize the Lightning Lanes on those in the morning. Then you do at night after our break. I would prioritize the Lightning Lanes for Remy's and for Frozen, and then we would do just the World Showcase, right? Like the whole afternoon and our night. We had dinner at one of the Mexican restaurants. We could see the fireworks from the restaurant, which worked out. We were exhausted because of all my running back and forward into the park. And a park like Epcot is huge, huge. You really shouldn't do it. So this is what I'm doing for this trip. We're going to Animal Kingdom with my nieces and my sister-in-law, and definitely we're going to go into one area, finish that area, even if I don't get Lightning Lanes for everything, even if we go in a standby line. But once we finish that land, we're out and we're not coming back. Unless at the end of the day, someone was like, okay, we absolutely need to go back and do this again. Fine. But we're going to walk the park and do the activities planned during that time. And prioritize walking less because in the summer, any step that you give is going to take some of the experience away, unfortunately. It's more time that you have to stop for breaks, is more stress and tiredness for your kids. So definitely prioritizing going through one area and moving to the next one and walking the parks that way, I think it's a much better strategy. I will report back. We're coming back in June, and I will do a plan versus reality on that trip as well. Now, we also need to pack for extreme weather. That was something that I definitely did well. Some of the things we didn't need, but it was good to have. I felt better. And towards the end of the trip, we just ditched them in the room. But things that we absolutely used all the time. Cooling towels. I got some really tiny ones. They're disposable towelettes, I think is what's called. The kids love it. You put in your glass of water and they soak it up and you can play with it, put around their heads, give it like a little cool down. Absolutely perfect. I used to wipe my makeup and reapply sunscreen. They are teeny tiny. You buy a pack of 20 at Amazon. It worked so well. We packed and we gave the kids and the adults Pedialyte or electrolytes because in the summer you do dehydrate. So that worked really well to keep us moving. We didn't feel that crash of dehydration, even though it was hot. It was middle of July. I bought mini umbrellas with sun protection. They were a pain to go through security. I got stopped every security point until I realized it was the umbrellas, and there's a way you can just hold them in front of you. But honestly, I got stopped 50 times, which drove me nuts because I wanted to rope drop and go to the rides. But they were pretty good in the middle of the day. I don't like ponchos. Even if it rains, an umbrella will help you. And I don't like burning on my shoulders. And the umbrella was pretty good to give me a little of a respite when I was walking from one place to another. We walked a little bit too much, but that's on me. The umbrellas definitely helped. We pack extra clothes, so we pack 2 sets of clothes for every day, and I shower twice every day. That's a non-negotiable for me, and even if it's just for the rain, if you're staying in the parks and you get rained on, a change of clothes, Ziploc bags in your bags for all that wet stuff. It works like magic. You're going to feel so much better if you have it. And your kids, they won't be able to tell you what's bothering them, right? That's how it goes with kids. Definitely having a pair of dry socks and a t-shirt, it will make them feel so much better and avoid the tantrums. I carry mini deodorant and mini travel size sunblock. And I got a really good one from Sunbum. I think it's like a spray, super lightweight. You can put over your makeup. You can put on kids like very easily. It doesn't get sticky. It's quick, like spray and go. Worked like magic. Didn't take a lot of space and it wasn't too heavy because even the strap on your backpack in the summer annoys the heck out of me and it makes it so much hotter on your back. So I didn't want to carry a lot of stuff. This definitely fit in a tiny bag and it was perfect. We had fans and we tried all different types. We tried the hand ones, we tried the neck, we tried the ones that you put on your inside your belt or like your pants. Those were the best. The ones that you clip on and you can put under your t-shirt or shirt is perfect. It gives you that full body cool off and you can also use around your neck. So those are my favorites. Water bottle. We had carrying a water bottle, especially with water on it, is so heavy. So what we did is we got a bottle holder that clips on your bag and you can put any water bottle on it. We'll just pack some water bottles and take it in the morning. You can refill at any refill station for cooler water during the day, but that's what worked best. And if you drink all the water, you don't carry around that bottle. You can just toss it and get a new water bottle if you want. That's what worked the best for us in terms of packing. We are not really big on snacking. The kids weren't eating all the time. If your kid needs it, obviously take some snacks. You don't want to keep stopping every 5 minutes. But we did pretty well with like a big breakfast in the room or a big breakfast in the park, a snack, lunch, and then dinner. We did fine with that. Number 6 of my hot chips, don't skip the pool or water park, even if it's just for a couple of hours. It was my kids' favorite activity. And we're making a priority for this time around because it just in the summer is the thing to do. I know you're coming for the parks and you want to maximize your time, but being in the pool and just cooling off in the pool, we got drinks at the cold brew at the water park. It was just a fun time that the kids don't have to be overwhelmed. It wasn't that busy, even though it was free for the first day, but we got in on a Sunday, so it wasn't busy at all. You get in and out. They have towels. It worked like magic, and it's such a fun summer activity, right? The kids are going to love it. You're going to love it. You need it. Take a break. And don't skip the night shows. I know that kids crash, and I know that is hard with kids after 8, 9 p.m. They're done. But we did Fantasmic. We did the dining plan. Again, we tried to make it as easy as possible on the kids. We had priority seating. But the kids were tired, but it's such a magical time that you get to experience completely different than the go of the parks and the day and the blazing heat. I think it's another experience that you really shouldn't miss. All right, guys, I went through everything. This is what I'm doing for June and July for both of our trips coming up. And I'm very new to podcasts. So this is my guide to first time podcasting as well for myself. So I don't really know how it works, but I'm having fun just sharing and talking about the experience. And obviously, as I'm planning new vacations and new experiences, I'm happy to share here as well. All right. This is it for Guide to First Time, this first season about Disney World. And I'll come back next week to talk more about the different trips that we've done this year and what we're planning for the year to come. Bye for now.